CEO, and all the members. Thank you very much for inviting me. The Honorable Lady Judges of the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, and High Court in its various divisions, diplomatic corps, and our development partners, all our honorable guests. I should have just said fellow East Africans, and we could have started. Let me just read my short speech. I'm only 2 months into public duty, so I'm getting to now to actually use this short paper. Now, the great honor that FIDA has bestowed upon me makes me reflect on Matthew 13:57. A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. But my reflection is simply one of interpretation, because I've been honored by people of Kenya and my own house, but then I haven't laid a foundation stone for a project in my country. And this is where the relevance of FIDA Uganda comes in. All you know, however, I love East Africa. That now includes Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Rwanda, and South Sudan. I hope that Somalia will soon be part of this great community. Now, with this honor, I feel immortalized, a great feeling when one is alive, because once gone, you don't know whether the flag will wither away or be defaced. I have the same fear of plagues as I have of statues. In my lifetime, I've seen both come down with predictable regularity. The words, I haven't seen the flag yet, but the words laying the foundation for human rights states and societies in Africa is an inspiration, but also a dream that I've seen over decades becoming a reality. Our constitutions are now pegged on the human rights and social justice paradigms that have a vision of human rights states and societies. Such states and societies are expected to move us from the imperial presidencies and dictatorships into democracies that value people's participation, their socio-economic and cultural rights, accountable and value-laden leadership at all levels of our societies, and nationalistic spirits that will challenge head-on foreign domination, enslavement, and oppression. Our constitution should also address challenges to manhood and the creation of economies that make our societies modern, independent, and progressive. While the vocabulary of revolution seems to have disappeared with the diction of war on terror, we still have human rights and social justice paradigms as the basis of revisiting paradigms of socialism and capitalism that scholars tell us were buried under the rubble of the collapsed Berlin Wall in 1989 and the disorders caused by the financial crisis of 2008. Human rights and social justice paradigms have their limitations. It is the transformative potential that such scholars as Mamudani, Shifji, Joe Loko Nyamba, and others have emphasized that all human rights activists need to focus on. I know FIDA Uganda has the leadership to look at these ideological and political perspectives of the paradigms in question. The foundation flag will constantly and continuously remind us of this as we build a home for FIDA Uganda, a hallmark of the permanency, irrevocability, and irreversibility of the human rights and women's rights movement that that reminds me, since I'm in Uganda, about micro, what is it called? Once in Dar es Salaam, President Museveni was talking to us, and he was using these gadgets, and then there was a power failure, and he urged those who are behind the power failure to be careful because they were going to be visited with the revolutionary violence. I don't know where else that this is. I have a lot of stories about your president, so I couldn't resist that one. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I was saying that the foundation flag will constantly and continuously remind us of this, that is the transformative potential of human rights and social justice paradigm. As we build a home for FIDA Uganda, a hallmark of the permanency, irrevocability, and irreversibility of the human rights and women's rights movement that FIDA has undertaken for decades. Focusing on the poverty of our people, prioritizing their economic, social, cultural, and political rights is a frontier we must confront head-on. It means that our hitherto narrow middle-class human rights movement will have to build lasting bridges with our grassroots counterparts on the basis of equality and respect. We have fought and succeeded in demanding our rights of movement and association, although we can't take them for granted. We should see less of the workshopping in hotels, less of the flip charts, and the toothpicks as we now move to the countryside and make sure our people own and protect the human rights and social justice messages. The other frontier of marginalization is the gay rights movement. Gay rights are human rights. Here I'm simply confining my statement in the context of human rights and social justice paradigms and avoiding the controversy that exists in our constitution and various legislation. As far as I know, human rights principles that we work on do not allow us to implement the human rights selectively. We need clarity on this issue within the human rights movement in East Africa. If we are to face the challenges that are spearheaded by powerful political and religious forces in our midst, I find the arguments made by some of our human rights activists, the so-called moral arguments, simply rationalizations for using human rights principles opportunistically and selectively. We need to bring together the opposing viewpoints in the movement of this issue for final and conclusive debate. I thank the FIDA movement, membership, leadership, and its national, regional, and global networks for the honor bestowed on me. I'm very proud of this honor and I will never take it for granted. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for kindly join me in recognizing and welcoming the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, the Right Honorable Madame Rebecca Kadaga. We are very pleased to have you in our midst this morning, Madame. At this point in the program, may I invite the FIDA Trust members and FIDA executive members to escort our guest of honor to the location where the foundation stone will now be laid. FIDA and guest of honor.
What is it? Let's tell you a bit. In the middle, please.
What do you want?
I think Jennifer, lift it on the other side. So it would say, take on, take on.
Okay. So just put
Some here.
some here.
The construction has commenced, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very technical process indeed, but being done very meticulously. And the stone, that's a marble stone, green marble stone, will be laid on the pedestal.
So is that enough?
I think
For the beginning?
I think it's enough.
And for the benefit of everyone present, the stone reads, the foundation stone FIDA House was laid by Dr. Willy Mutunga, Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, on the 8th of September 2011. We lay the foundation of human rights, states and societies in Africa. Willy Mutunga. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Speaker, to this plot 54 Bukoto Street.
Shall be opening. No.
Thank you. We may take our seats now. Sorry about that technical hitch. Technology is always a problem, but I'm sure FIDA we come to the part of the program where I invite you to join me in welcoming the Chief Executive Officer of FIDA Uganda, Madame Maria Nassali, to give us a vote of thanks before we conclude our program for today. But just as Madame Maria comes, I'd like to let you in into a secret that I heard while the stone was being laid, that the color green was actually the guest of honor's best color, so everything worked out. Madame,
Found to myself that God loves FIDA. Not only has the very rightful female God given us very lovely weather, but she has also graced us with your presence on this very historic day. Our guest of honor, the Right Honorable Chief Justice, Dr. Willy Mutunga. We would have been declared insane if we had not recognized you as the rightful person to lay our stone and to borrow your words so that we can have permanency, irreversibility, and sustainability of human rights, particularly of women. You believed in us at a time when our confidence in ourselves was wavering. Many of us, including myself, were skeptical whether it was indeed possible to revive this organization. You enabled us with the luxury to stop and think and rebuild. Indeed, we spent 2007 thinking with your support, but you allowed us to think beyond the margins of then what FIDA Uganda was and to confront the contemporary issues of human rights. We are forever indebted. Our trustees, our executive coach, often talks about how organizations need people to hear it cry. You called it your baby. You mobilized us, and we came. Our board members, we thank you for the wisdom